Welcome to this video, and in this video we are going to focus primarily on the purchase module. Here we are going to look at how we can do our purchases, and for that to happen, remember in our previous video we had configured some products. We had said we will need some bottle caps, we'll need some labels, we'll need some plastic roll, and all other products that we need in our production of our water. Any other product that we need, and we need also to purchase it. So I'll head directly to the purchase module. And in the purchase module, here we have purchase orders. We can request for quotations, and we have our suppliers as well as our products. So let us just confirm that our products are well set up. I will look at the bottles. Under the bottle caps here, we can already set the vendors who supply to us our bottle caps, and we can select maybe test vendor and say maybe we buy at a minimum quantity of one bottle cap at maybe 2. The price is 2, and we save it. And maybe look at another product. I'll not add for all products so that I can show in a case where a product is not added, what happens. So in this case, I will do a minimum of 1 quantity and the price. So let us note that in our products, we have 2 products that have been configured the vendor, which is bottle caps as well as the labels. Now I go to do a purchase order. Here we also have our vendors and we have our test vendor here. So we shall do our purchase order. So we go to the purchase orders, create a purchase order, select our vendor who is test vendor, then add our product lines. So we shall add our bottle caps. We shall add also our labels here. And notice that the labels have 3 types. So we have the labels of 3 ml, 700 ml, and 1500 ml. These are products that we already added into the system. And if I might just save this to the record and go back to that product, we shall be able to see the different variances of that product. For example, if I look at the label, I'll see the variances are 3, meaning it is one label, but inside that label, we have 3 different variances. Labels for 300 ml, 700 ml, or 1500 ml bottles. And that is how also we can configure our products, and we can buy specific variants of the labels. So here, if I go back to my purchase order, so we have created our purchase order to test vendor. We have not confirmed it yet. And our prices are auto-updated. If the price was not auto-updated, the user can still update the price here. And also, based on the last purchase of that product, the price is saved and the user can use that last purchase as the current purchase of the product. If we have taxes included, then we can also add our taxes manually here, but also in the accounting module, we can configure default taxes. So once we have set that, we have the order date, we have the vendor reference, we can send this purchase order to our vendor, who is test vendor, if their email is configured. We can print it and just maybe mail it, and we can also confirm the order. So once an order is confirmed, we have a document here that is created, a document that is waiting to receive the products. So the purchase module works in a way that we have 2 related documents to a purchase order. We have a document that will update our stock, and we also have a document that will update the money that we need to pay out to our supplier, like buying the payments. So based on the workflow, either if you are paying first before receiving the products or paying after receiving the products, the system accommodates both the workflows. So here I'll just go directly to receiving my product. And in terms of receiving my product, I can say who brought it in, the transporter, the vehicle, how many parcels came in, what are the quantities that came in. And here I only ordered one quantity at a time. And I can just do this as a simple test. I validate. It asks me, you have not set the quantity is done. Yes, so it will process everything. I apply and it just processes everything once. Guess what? The location that we had already created in our previous video under the inventory is the destination location. So if I go to this location, I'll be able to see these quantities updated there. But that is a very simple, direct process. Many things happen in business, and we shall see other different processes based on it. So in this simple process, we ordered one, we have received one, but guess what? We have not paid for any of them. We just received it. So now this is the point where we can now pay for those products actually. Maybe it can be immediately or at the end of the month. So we just come to this purchase order, create a vendor bill. That vendor bill updates the quantities that were received and the prices that they were received at, and I can just simply validate it. Now, this is the document that will process payments to our supplier. Once we create a vendor bill, we register a payment here, and we can register that payment in bits or as a whole. So if I register payment here, you remember we mentioned something about the accounting module setup and the payment journals. So here is where they can be used. So I am paying it maybe via cash, and I can decide to pay the full amount or partial amount. So in this case, I'll just pay the full amount, which is a direct process. And that payment has been, that record will be marked as paid. The journal records in the accounting module will be updated also. If I go back to this purchase order, then I'll see I ordered one quantity, I received one, I billed one. In the purchase order, we also have the vendor bills related to it and the receipts. The receipts update the stock, the vendor bills update our payments towards the supplier. If I go to my vendor and I go to the vendor portal, I will be able to see we did one purchase to this vendor, as well as did also a vendor bill to this vendor. And on that vendor, I see that vendor bill, I see the status as paid. That is a direct, simple process. You can go to the vendor and see how much stock we still need, we have bought to that from that vendor, how many vendor bills we have created, and how much is to be paid. So here you can track how much needs to be paid out. So in business, many things happen, and we can have a very complex scenario whereby we order products, not all of them have been transferred, not all of them have been delivered, and we still need to do payments. So I'll just duplicate this and create another scenario here. Now in this scenario, I'll request for 20 of these products and maybe another 20 of these products. So I requested for 20, I confirmed, somehow the supplier did not supply all the 20. So the products that I'm going to receive are half of them. So if in case I'm receiving half of the products, what I'll do, I'll just come to click on edit here. I'll go to update the quantities that I have received. And in this case, I'm receiving only maybe 10 of them. I confirm. Here, maybe I receive 18 of them. I confirm and I validate. Now, one thing you'll notice that here below, I see I am receiving lesser quantities than the ones that I ordered. In that case, the system will ask you to create a back order. And this is just a document that will help you track the remaining pieces that are to be delivered. So what it will do, it will process the 10 and 18 that you had already configured, that you had already added on the done column, and it will create a back order that will now look at what is pending. So If I go back to this purchase order, I'll look at my receipt and I'll see two of them. Two of them will refer to one that has been done, processed, and the one that is a back order. And it mentions also the back order of which specific one. At that point, I can now decide I want to only pay for the goods that I have received. So I ordered 20, I've received 18 and 10. I can now decide to pay for the specific goods which are 18 and 10. And that way I can just validate my vendor bill, pay for those ones, and when the back order comes in, I can still create a bill for the back order and pay for it. In a case whereby that is not the process is all about credit notes and debit notes, then there is an option here to ask for credit note from your supplier after creating a full vendor bill and registering partial payment for the same, so that when the remaining goods come in, all that the remaining balance is also paid out. And that is basically the purchase module. So once every record is validated, we look at our purchase orders here. We see all the purchases we've made. We look at every movement in our stock, and we see all the products that have been added to our stock, which are grayed out. And we can look at the transporters who brought in the stock. In the control module, okay, we of course have the reports that can show all the purchase analysis. We can look at the incoming products, and in the incoming products, what is pending to be received and on which date is being received. And that is basically the purchase module connected to the accounts module as well as the inventory module, and each record is updated automatically.